Bună ziua! Hello! Welcome back to Romanian language step by step with Laura. E primăvară, it's spring finally, and we haven't seen each other for a while. This is lesson 12, lecția 12. If you manage to view lesson 10, lecția 10, I'd like to go from that on. We talked about genders, specifically about feminine and masculine nouns in Romanian. And some of them were quite common sense, in the sense that if you have a male, it will be expressed through a masculine noun. If you have a female, like profesoară, it will be expressed through a obviously a feminine noun. And there are also some exceptions from the rule, quite like in the Romanian style, in the sense that some masculine nouns will be referring not only to males but also to things, for instance, to vegetables, like in the case of castravete, cucumber, or ardei, some trees, some fruit trees, or most fruit trees actually, măr, cireș, cherry tree, apple tree, and some parts of the body. These were the examples that I gave. Also, feminine nouns were likely to refer to something else than females, namely to some things or some abstractions. Now, today we're going to revise this distinction between feminine and masculine, also through the point of view of how we say one and two. We're going to see again the endings for feminine and masculine, for singular and plural this time. And function of how we say one and two, we'll see that we can also distinguish another gender, namely the neuter gender. Now, I hope you're ready. There's lots of information to take in, so pay attention. Okay, masculine nouns. We learned about muncitor, I think, worker, poet, very short, poet, yeah, very short, which is male cousin, yeah, male cousin, director, manager, elephant, obviously elephant, and leu, which may be the lion, but also the Romanian currency. Now, how we say one, we say un muncitor, we see the consonants, yes? Un poet, un verișor, un director, un elefant și un leu. For two, we will have different ways of saying function of the gender. Now, this is where you should pay attention, okay? So we say doi muncitori, two workers. And we can see the ending, which is I, Romanian I. Doi poeti, two poets, okay? Un poet, one poet or a poet, doi poeti, two poets. Un verișor, a cousin, a male cousin, doi verișori, two male cousins. And we can see the ending again. In the case of poet, which is in the singular ends in t, we'll see a slight change. The t goes into Romanian ț, doi poeti. Un director, a manager, doi directori. Un elefant, doi elefanți. Again, the same change, adding to the i. So we've got ț, yeah, before i. And un leu, we drop the u, and we've got doi lei, two lions. Okay, so un for one, doi for two in the case of masculine nouns, and another particular feature is the e as a mark for plural for masculine nouns. Okay, now for feminine nouns, one or a will be o. O masă, if you remember, that was table, okay? O girafă, a giraffe, o verișoară, a female cousin, o elevă, a female pupil, o ploaie, rain, right? I know that rain is not countable in English, o iubire, a love, and again, love is not countable in English, but we count them, for some reason we count them in Romanian. Now, for two, we will have something different from the previous thing, yeah? So we've got două as opposed to doi. So o masă ending in a, most of them, două mese. O girafă, două girafe. o verișoară, două verișoare, two female cousins, o elevă, două eleve. So as a general rule, and again as a general rule, because there are a few exceptions, those nouns which in the singular, those feminine nouns which in the singular end in will end in the plural in e. Okay, and obviously two is this time două. All right, now let's see what happens for those which end in e or ie. O ploaie, okay, două ploi, two, I can't even say, two types of rain, okay, two rounds of rain. So we've got e in the singular and e in the plural, a little bit like for the masculine nouns, okay? O iubire, one love or a love, two loves, două iubiri. I know this is not countable in English, but in Romanian it seems to be. Okay, so if you remember, for masculines we have doi, for two, and for feminines we have două. For masculine, in the singular we have un, yeah, for a or one, and for feminines, for the singular we have o, for a or an or one. Now, the neuter nouns. Right, the neuter nouns refer only to things or abstractions, yeah? Now, in terms of ending, most of them will end in a consonant, which is pretty much like in the case of the masculine nouns. And if we want to say one or an or a, we say un. So we've got plenty of things which are similar with the masculines, all right? So we've got un bilet, one ticket, un telefon, one telephone, or a telephone, or a call, yeah, telephone call. Un spital, a hospital. Un chai, a cup of tea. And we see that there are some neuter nouns which end in a vowel, but this vowel is not a. Okay, so we don't go with the similarities to the feminine nouns so far. The similarities are mostly with the masculine nouns. Okay, un ceas, again ending in a consonant, a clock or a watch. Un anotimp, a season. Okay, now the plural, yes, if you want to say two, două bilete, two tickets, două telefoane, two telephones or two phone calls. All right, două spitale, two hospitals, două ceaiuri, two teas or two cups of teas, două ceasuri, two clocks or two watches, and două anotimpuri, two seasons. Now, in terms of endings, if we are to notice, some of them will end in e, pretty much like the feminine nouns, and some others will end in ur. And some of my students ask, well, okay, how do we know? Because these are the only endings, which is good news. Yes, two types of endings for neuter nouns. And they ask, okay, how do we know? Well, we don't. There's no particular rule. In time, you'll just notice it doesn't sound right, okay, if we add one instead of the other, okay? So the good news is that I finished with the genders. We have only 3 genders, okay? 3. But it may still be confusing. That's why I kind of wanted to see the similarities between neuter and masculine on the one hand, and you can see that these similarities are when it comes to singular, okay? And there will be similarities with the between the masculines and the feminines, and these similarity will be when we come to plural, okay? But for the moment, let's stick to the singular. So we've got in the singular we have masculines, yeah, which have un for a or one, okay, un verișor, un director, un elefant, un leu, okay, and they end in consonants, yeah. And then we've got the neuters, and for one or a, they will also have un bilet, un telefon, un spital, un ceai. Okay, as you can see, both masculines and neuters will also have in common the fact that they end in a consonant. Okay, we can see t, n, l. Right, and if there is a vowel, that vowel is not all right, so it's maybe u, like in leo or chai. Okay. Now, when it comes to plural, we will find similarities between neuters and feminines. Okay, so when we want to say two, we will say două. Okay, două bilete and două mese, două telefoane and două girafe or două verișoare, două spitale, două eleve. Okay, so we can see that both neuters and feminines will have două on the one hand, and in terms of endings, both neuters and feminine will end in e. Okay, bilete, mese, telefoane, verișoare, spitale, eleve. All right, and we can have două ceaiuri and două ploi, which means that they keep on having două as a means of saying two, and also ending in I. Right, in the case of the neuter is actually uri, yeah, but we have this I, which is actually common with the masculine. All right, so this is a little bit confusing, but for the moment, if we remember that masculines in general refer to males, and we have exceptions, but well, these exceptions may be, let's say, 15%, and most of them will be fruit trees, some vegetables, parts of the body, and some objects like pantof, shoes, perete, wall, yeah, but not very many. Okay, which are things, yeah. And then feminines will generally refer to female. So if we have a female, that's for sure a feminine noun. Okay, but there are quite a few things that are feminine without being females. And neuters will always refer to things or maybe abstractions such as anotimp. Okay, right. So if we kind of decided according to this criterion which of them, which of the gender the noun is, we can then use the indefinite article un. Okay, un if it's a masculine for singular, or if it's a feminine, and also un if it's a neuter. All right, and we can also say one, which is a numeral, yeah, the number one. When we want to say two, okay, we will say doi for masculines, două for feminines, and also două for neuter. In terms of endings, most of the feminines will end in a, some of them will end in e or ie. Most masculines will end in a consonant, very few in a vowel, in the singular I mean, and most neuters will also end in a consonant, very few in a vowel. In terms of ending for the plural, most, if not all, that's good news, masculines will end in e, okay? Actually, I think all of them. The feminines will end in e and few in e, and the neuters will end in e or e. So you can see that maybe there was this decision of calling them neuter because they're somewhere in the middle. I don't want to give you more information because there's already a lot of information. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe for more. That was it. La revedere!